Hey, welcome. Today we're going to look at the holiday season in a bit of a different way. We're going to pull together a classic story, some really ancient wisdom, and, well, some questions that feel incredibly human.
All right, so let's just jump right in. I want to start with a question about a story that, let's be honest, we all think we know pretty well. How much do you actually really know about the Nutcracker? So someone was asked that very same question not too long ago, and this is what they said. I mean, they're not wrong, right? There's a nut, something cracks. But it's kind of like saying the ocean is just wet. It's missing the point, it's missing the magic, because the real story, the good stuff, it doesn't even start until this one particular character shows up.
And that character's name is Drosselmeir. He's this mysterious godfather figure. His arrival? Well, that brings us to our first big idea today, something we're going to call the Drosselmeir effect.
Think about it. The second he walks in, the entire vibe of the party just shifts, you know? The normal, predictable rhythm is gone. Suddenly the world feels bigger, wider, and there's this little buzz in the air, a whisper that says, hey, pay attention, something is about to happen.
And that is what we're calling the Drosselmeir effect. It's that exact moment when something sacred, something more, steps into our totally familiar everyday spaces. It's just a perfect way to think about this season of Advent, right? It's about God stepping into our lives, not with a huge crash, but kind of on tiptoe, just whispering for us to notice.
You know, this very same idea, this effect, it shows up in ancient scripture too. Let's start with a really powerful message from the prophet Isaiah. And believe it or not, it all kicks off with just one word.
And here it is. These are the very first words that God speaks through Isaiah in this part of the text. And what's so amazing is what it's not. It's not a list of rules you have to follow. It's not a demand to get your act together. It's just this incredibly profound offering, said twice, comfort. And to really get why that one word landed with such force, you got to understand who he was talking to. This wasn't some happy-go-lucky crowd. No way. These were people who were running on empty, emotionally and spiritually. They felt totally bruised, totally closed in, like the walls were shrinking. They needed hope the way a drowning person needs air.
So what does this tell us? It tells us that God's first instinct, God's first language right here, is just gentleness. The message is so simple. Hey, before we do anything else, just breathe, just take a breath. I'm going to meet you right where you are.
Okay, so let's shift gears a little bit. Let's turn to another story. This one's about a young woman who gets one of those divine surprises, you know? And her response is just so human. It's an incredibly honest question.
So, an angel shows up to Mary with news that is, it's unbelievable, world-changing. And what does she do? She doesn't just go silent. She doesn't just nod and say, okay. She asks maybe the most practical, down-to-earth question in the entire Bible. Wait, how? How is this going to happen?
Now, this is a really important distinction we have to make. What she's asking, it's not doubt. Doubt is like a wall. It's resistance. It closes the door. This is different. This is an honest question. It comes from a real desire to understand. It's actually looking for a way forward. She's not saying, this is impossible. She's saying, okay, tell me how.
So the angel gives her some reassurance. And Mary's reply, wow. Her reply gets right to the very heart of what faith is all about. And it has nothing to do with having all the answers. It's all about a brave, humble yes.
Just listen to what she says. Let it be with me, just as you have said. Think about that. She doesn't say, great, thanks, I get it all now. No, it's just this incredibly powerful statement of trust, even when she can't see the whole picture. And that right there is the core of it. Mary is showing us something so important. Faith isn't having the whole map laid out in front of you. It's not about having every single detail figured out. It's just about trusting the one who is with you enough to take that very next step.
All right, so we've got Isaiah, we've got this mysterious Drosselmeir character, and we've got Mary. What happens when we put them all together? What are they really trying to teach us about this season? Let's connect the dots and get to our big takeaway.
It really comes down to three huge truths. First, from Isaiah, God's opening line to us when we're worn out is always comfort, not a command. Second, from Drosselmeir, the sacred, the holy, it usually shows up in weird, unexpected ways. And third, from Mary, faith is really just about saying a humble, courageous yes to that next step.
So look, if you're heading into this holiday season and you're feeling worried, or you're waiting for some kind of clarity that isn't coming, or you just feel stretched totally thin, I want you to remember this. The message of this season is never, come back when you have it all together. It's not, come back when you're stronger. The message is, I am with you, right now, right in the middle of all this.
And to make this super practical, let's just hold on to these two powerful lines we've been talking about. Think of them as anchors. The first is that promise from God, through Isaiah, comfort, comfort my people. And the second is Mary's response, her reception of that promise. Let it be with me just as you have said. Just carry those two lines with you.
And all of this leaves us with really an invitation. An invitation to just pay attention. So as you go about your week, through all the normal, familiar spaces of your life, maybe just ask yourself this one simple question. Where is God stepping in on tiptoe? Where is hope whispering into your life right now?